Hey guys, so this is Amity again. I'm trying to get through a series of tutorials here for you, just because I've had so many different ideas for doing tutorials and just haven't got around to doing it. So this particular one, I'm going to be focusing on more effects that you could do with flashes, just kind of going more in depth on the different ways that I do them, some new tricks that I've figured out within the past couple months, weeks, and just, I don't know, I guess just kind of going over some things that I thought were pretty cool and I thought you guys might like to know. So this project is the one that I just got done with the Pillow Talk one with Misaki and Usi. And the thing that I wanted to highlight the most from this project were the beats that are, I guess, like mostly prominent in the intro. At least you see them a lot more, but they go throughout the entire video. But essentially, there we go. There's a good shot. But essentially, it's the scenes where you have this nice flash, and then another one, and another one until it fades into the next one. Okay, and this particular effect, I was actually messing around with cookie cutter in order to accomplish. It's basically a little bit of mix between cookie cutter here and then my regular brightness and contrast flashes. Although here, actually, it doesn't look like I did use any brightness and contrast. Ooh, that's interesting. Alright, so all of this right now, that is all cookie cutter, guys. That's exciting. Okay. Alright, so to kind of demonstrate this a little bit, I'm going to come over here and show you. I might just use an image. I don't know. Oh, why not? Okay. So we have our image here, or clip, or whatever you want to use. And essentially, all I did was I have like a little bit of a fade at the beginning. Because what I wanted to do, I kind of wanted it to feel a little dark, but almost have like an effect where it's a little bit smoky on the edges. So then as it fades, it almost looks like this little smoky edge of the clip is disappearing into black. And so I would go into my cookie cutter, and I have a whole bunch of presets saved, so it's not like it's going to be exactly what you guys, have written down. Like I have this one called Soft Oval. So I drag that one down. It's basically just an oval shape, and I actually moved the feathering up to 2, so it's all the way up. And then about like a 4:2 is what I used throughout my entire Pillow Talk video. And it just kind of gives this little vignette around the edge of your clip or your image. Okay, and I leave everything else blank. And I'm only going to be messing with the size. So we're going to pretend like this is our beat. Let me kind of move this. Oh my goodness, come on. Okay, so we're going to pretend our beat is here. So this is where we want to see most of the clip. Okay, and with this first anchor point here, I'm going to move it down, not so that it's like all the way gone, but it's like very small. And so you see this little kind of, it's not really a flash, but it's this vignette effect going from basically black, and all of a sudden it's like eyes, okay, there we go. It's like eyes opening, like when you're, when you're opening your eyes, like all of a sudden, oh, look at all this stuff that's around me. Yep. Okay. And then once you got that, This is for when I have like several beats. So like in Pillow Talk, there are a lot of like subtle beats that are in that. So all I did was I marked the next part, which would be right here, where there would be a beat. And then I put another mark that's like right before that. And I just make vignette a little bit less. Okay, so, you know, about there. Or you can make it bigger or smaller, depending on what you want. So then it comes back up. And then if you have another beat, you do that. But you're basically just gonna fade it out. Maybe not necessarily that much, but well, that's pretty gradual. So you have something that looks like that. I forgot how long I made that image. So let's see if I can make it a little bit shorter for you guys. Move it in. So it's a little bit easier to see. About there. Okay, so you have something that looks somewhat like that. Okay, and of course with Pillow Talk it's going a lot faster, so it's a little bit more flashy. But you can see how it kind of adds a little bit more effect to it. And if you really wanted to push it, which I did in a lot of those clips, I used my brightness and contrast effect. So I covered this one a little bit in one of my previous tutorials, but I know I was trying to be really fast, so I didn't get much done as far as it goes. But basically, you're just gonna make it so that you have an anchor point on the beat, and you can increase the contrast to however much you want. If it's like a really soft beat, you could make it just like a little bit, like a 75, maybe even like a 48. And if it's like a really big downbeat, maybe cymbals are involved, and you want to make it more of like a crashing flash, then you can increase it. And just make sure that there is a little anchor point right before it, and you can move it or however, you know, subtle you want the increase to be. And then you fade it out to 0 again. And of course with this one, you would want to actually continue that. So then you'd add another anchor point. Good. Well, maybe not all the way at the end, but like right there. And you just do it a little bit less though, because usually these beats are going to be a little more subtle than the first one. 61 sounds good. Okay, so then when you look at it, you got something like that. And I even took it a little bit step farther and added some black and white, which you can add if you want. In this particular case, I think I just did it on the down. Let's see. Oh, just a gradual fading to black and white. Yep. This is a really fun effect to try and like work with, especially since I haven't ever done it that way before. So it kind of just puts a nice little spin on things and makes things a little more interesting. Yeah, so that's how I did the whole cookie cutter flash thing. Some other ways, of course, that I've outlined in previous tutorials with using a color gradient as a flash. This one, I didn't use it on this particular project. I don't believe so. Nope, I did not. But that one's is very simple. It's basically just adding, a color gradient on the bottom that is very transparent. So you'd have like a little bit of white on the edges, with more white being in the middle than on the ends. So that when you do any fading in between clips, it gets a little bit brighter. But of course I didn't want to do it on this one just because I wanted things to fade to black. So it helped not having it. But that's just a quick review of the other way that I do flashes. Other ideas other than like brightness and contrast. Trying to think. I guess one I didn't really touch on, but I almost did. Let me come on here with flashes. If you want like a flash of color, I usually do that with Media Generator solid colors. And I did this actually with some of my still image editing that I could have gone over, but I'll just show you guys here. Okay, maybe about that. Alright, so we have the downbeat, which was like about here-ish. But what I do if I want to use a color as a flash, what I'll do is I'll just take one of these solid color generators and I just make it a little bit transparent so you can still see the clip behind it. But basically it just lets you go like that and then it fades out. So instead of just increasing the the brightness and contrast on your clip and keeping the same colors, and you just want to colorize it, this is a good way to do it. And it just gives you a little bit more to work with as far as flashes. And hopefully that is a little bit more helpful. I can't really think of anything else to cover, so this one's actually going to be kind of a short one compared to my other ones. Of course, as usual, if you guys have anything that you want to know, have any questions about how I did any kind of effects, whether or not I make a tutorial on it, I am totally happy to help you guys out. And of course, if you ever have any suggestions, feel free to give them to me in the comments as a personal message, either way that works for you. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.